What up, y'all? This is Tracy from Nerd Squish, and today we're going to be talking about the conclusion to the Michael Myers trilogy, Halloween Ends. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Myers has hit our screens once again, sort of, and there's a lot to digest here. There is a lot. If you're new here, this is Nerd Squish, where we take everything spooky and we take everything nerdy and we squish it all together. So if you like horror movies, Halloween, and pop culture, definitely hit that subscribe button so you can see more videos from us in the future. I want to start this off by saying that this will be a spoiler-heavy review, so if you haven't seen the movie and you don't want to know any details, stop now, go watch the movie, and come on back. Back in 2018, Halloween was dropped into theaters once again, and instead of being a reboot or following that same storyline of Laurie and Michael being brother and sister, we literally picked up from the first movie back in 1978. I love this next step in the story. I just thought it was honestly like a flawless movie, and I've watched it numerous times and it never gets old. I still love it just as much as I did when I first saw it. And in 2021, we got the second movie in this trilogy that literally picked up right where the first one left off. I mean, we're just, you know, one continuous story. Wasn't wild about kills. There was a lot to like about it, but it wasn't my favorite, but I still could rewatch it. And then now in 2022, Halloween Ends. The conclusion to the trilogy of the fight between Laurie and Michael. It's here. Am I happy about it? Not really. So instead of picking up right where Halloween Kills left off, we have jumped 4 years in time. 4 years. Why? I don't understand that time jump. The 2018 Halloween was a huge jump from its 1978 predecessor, so like, okay, maybe they got reasoning here. So I was cool, let's go with it. This movie starts off in 2019 where a young Corey Cunningham is babysitting a kid on Halloween night, and due to a horrific accident, this kid dies, and everyone in this town blames him and thinks he's actually a murderer. Cause it's Haddonfield, we've got killer fever, everything is Michael Myers and a serial killer and blah blah blah, like accidents can't happen, right? So you see this guy like basically bullied and just targeted in this town, and nobody can accept him, and he's got a terrible life, and it's really sad. You empathize with this character. I wanted to give him a hug. You know, like I felt bad for him. During one of these incidences where he's bullied by local teenagers, Laurie helps him and then introduces him to her granddaughter, Allison. Naturally, it's love at first sight, and Allison and Corey start dating, and they kind of, in a sense, bond over these horrific Halloween events that they've both experienced on different sides. And so far at this point in the movie, I'm like, okay, this is cool. This is kind of different, refreshing, I can get down with this. And then it takes a turn, and basically we watch a whole movie where Michael Myers and his grasshopper Corey Cunningham do stuff. Except Michael just doesn't really show up much. And yeah, I could give a better summary for this movie if I was given a better movie, but it's just so foggy and ridiculous that that's all I can give you. When the trailer for this movie came out, I was very excited, but what you are shown in the trailer as like, hey, this is what Halloween Ends is all about, you don't get that. You don't get that. Like, there's barely any Michael. It's the Corey Cunningham show. Almost in a sense where it's like Halloween 3, where it's like, okay, this is a Michael Myers Halloween movie, but like, where is he? I mean, at least in this movie, he does show up. Sort of. And when the movie first started, I was feeling it. The opening scene of this movie is great. It pulled me in, I was feeling it. And the ending of the movie is pretty good. You know, a good ending to this trilogy. The middle is a hot mess. This movie is a terrible sandwich. You know, we've got this pretty decent, fresh, delicious bread, and the contents inside of the sandwich are just moldy, disgusting, confusing ingredients that just don't make sense. Halloween Ends, terrible sandwich. And I really did like this Corey Cunningham character when he first appeared. Like, he was interesting. You empathized with him, and then you could see that this town, you know, to a sense was hardening him. And they could have gone in a lot of really cool directions with this character. He went through something horrific that was just a pure accident, and he got blamed for it. And you know, that takes a toll on you, especially in a little small town like this. Like, everyone knows who you are. So I really could see this character, like, over time hardening and becoming the product of you know, what people are saying he is. Like, him becoming this killer because for so long, that's what just got pushed in his face. Like, that would have been a cool storyline. That's not what they did. That's not really what they did. I don't know what they did. I'm confused. There's these local teenagers that keep bullying this kid. And this is very unbelievable for just so many reasons. Okay, first of all, these are teenagers. Teenagers. They're in high school. This kid's 21. Like, sir, like, just bully them back? Like, you're 21. You're getting bullied by children. They're in the marching band. The marching band. So that was kind of funny to me because, you know, the old stereotype of, like, the cool guy jock bullying kids. But no, it's the marching band. This little scrawny kid that's in a marching band, like, this is who we're afraid of? Sir. What? I wasn't buying these characters, that whole interaction of these teenagers bullying this 21-year-old the whole time. Like, I didn't get it. But during one of the big bullying scenes, he gets pushed over a bridge, falls into, like, the homeless land, and ends up getting pulled into a tunnel by Michael Myers himself. This is where the movie it went off the rails. Like, they were like, you know what, let's get weird. I feel like while they were writing this, they had good intentions. There was some cool creative things happening. And then a point came where they all became Michael Keaton from 1989 Batman. He was like, you wanna get nuts? Let's get nuts. Because they got nuts. So he's in this tunnel with Michael Myers, who is obviously very beaten up, very tired from his last battle. Dude looks crippled as hell. Like, he looks like he can't even get up and do anything. Then he grabs Corey and, like, through touch, like, he's, like, seeing everything that Corey's experienced. And then because of that, now Corey's a killer. They could have done this right. We have this character of Michael Myers, the boogeyman. He's obviously not a human. There's something supernatural about this character because he's been shot, he's been stabbed, all these things have happened to this man, and he doesn't die. Any average human being would die, especially when you look at Halloween Kills. This man's old. He's old as hell. Like, he would be hella dead. So obviously, he's a supernatural entity. So if they would have done something where he could have transferred his soul into this 21-year-old kid, Corey Cunningham, and go about his dirty killing business because his body's rotten and he can't anymore. Okay, that's fair. That's cool. That's creative. I could get down with that. That's not what happened. He, like, sees Corey's life and, that's where you think they're going, but then Michael's still killing? And, like, all of a sudden he's, like, super strong again. And I get the whole thing that the more Michael kills, the stronger he gets. Like, my thing is, they started to dive into this supernatural aspect a little bit more, but they belly flopped. If you're going to dive in, like, give it a 10, okay? Give the judges a 10, because you belly flopped and you belly flopped hard. Don't be lazy with the supernatural. If you're gonna go into this, if you are gonna go this route, go. Get into it. Like, again, if it would have went in a Chucky direction of, like, a complete soul transference because his body is so rotten and beaten down that he physically can't do it anymore, and so his soul was transferred into this kid's body, great. That makes sense. What happened didn't make sense. It didn't. So from this point forward, Corey just becomes this whole other character that doesn't make sense because he's not possessed. There's no voodoo transference like Chucky happening because Michael's he's still here. Sort of. I don't understand what happened here. Can someone tell me what happened here? Like, what? And again, I like that they tried to do something different, but I just don't understand why they didn't go full throttle into this direction and kind of like half-assed it. This movie doesn't even feel like the same world as the 2018 Halloween. It took a left turn. It did not signal. And I had to research it. Like, was this the same, like, team making all three of these movies? Because, you know, Halloween Kills did kind of, you know, they took a little bit of a turn from the original, but not enough to make it like, what are you guys doing? But then this one, I mean, they just, like I said, Michael Keaton, let's get nuts. And I had to research, like, was this the same team? And David Gordon Green, director of all three. My conclusion is that this movie is a product of COVID and isolation, and the fact that apparently everyone working on this movie went a little Jack Torrance. Because, you know, I've heard a lot of background on this movie is that they kind of started one place, and then they were like, oh, you know, I'm gonna change this, I'm gonna add that. So this was a Jack Torrance. They were isolated, they went crazy, we got Halloween Ends. Terrible sandwich. The ending was pretty good. Like, I love the fact that we got to see Laurie and Michael fight because, let's face it, that's why we watch these movies, but there wasn't enough of that. That's what the trailer showed us that this movie was gonna be about. Laurie, Michael, the final fight. It was only the last 5 minutes. And then not only that, but like Michael Myers barely showed up to his own movie. Like, he just like kind of sort of would come in and be like, oh, hey guys, this is still a Michael movie, but hold on, like, watch what this other guy's doing. And I did like that we got that therapeutic ending of evil did die tonight, which was cool. I mean, the send-off, I don't believe. Like, I don't care if you crush this guy with like a car crusher. I mean, we've killed him before. He's gonna pull a hatchet. He's gonna Victor Crowley and like piece back together and like half possess more people. Like, is that where we're going with this? Because let me know in the comments down below what you think of this movie. Did you like it? You know, what's your thoughts? Because I really do think as this trilogy went along, it just progressively got worse. This is a one and done for me. This is not rewatchable. It is not redeemable. I don't think if I watch this 10 years from now, I'm gonna see it from a fresh view and be like, oh, you know what? This is actually pretty good. It's one and done. Did not like this movie. That's it. If you like this video, give it a big ol' thumbs up. And if you want to see more movie reviews and videos from us, definitely hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when new videos hit the channel. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you nerds later. Michael, what have you done?